Hello everyone, today I'm gonna tell you about SyncFab project. First, let's see what stage of the project. As we see, there is an active phase of the ICO which will end in 20 days. SoftCap team collected quickly enough and now confidently goes to the hard cap. Let's get acquainted with the project closer. Uh, Unusual for an ACO, SyncFab is an existing business dating from 2013 and which operates as a supply chain management system. Generally speaking, small to medium-sized manufacturers and buyers of their products operate with inefficient markets and very often struggle to find each other. Unlike larger manufacturers and purchasing houses, small businesses on either side of the supply chain do not enjoy the same benefits that come from being a bigger place enjoying larger networks. Nor do they have sufficient weight to double down on middlemen who, albeit offering specialized value-added services that make it easier for sellers to find buyers and vice versa, tend to take large commissions. Large manufacturers may dominate the market in terms of market share, but it still remains the case that 95% of all manufacturers fall into the bracket of small to medium-sized operation. The SyncFab proposition is, in summary, to create a supply chain data hub for the minnows and dolphins of the manufacturing world. This hub will be constructed in part for the partnership with the organization, both public and private on each side of the supply chain. Uh, both buyers and manufacturers will participate in a blockchain-based smart contract management network that will allow the two main parties on each side of the supply chain equation to find each other more easily, to transact with one another in more efficient manner. Simply put, the proposition here is the creation of a blockchain-based manufacturer-focused product that is designed to make the life of supply chain purchase account manager much easier. And let's talk about concept and white paper. Um, Before discussing the white paper itself, it's worth reiterating here that this is an existing business looking to extend some of its operation to a blockchain model, financing through an ICO. The first question that comes to mind is whether a blockchain-based solution actually brings any added value here. The answer supplied by the project team is that they want to bring in an incentivized model for processes, requests for proposals, requests for quotations, that in practice are often timely, costly, and simply draining. Every contract put out for tender, generally by buyers, will be accompanied with a transaction fee quoted in SyncFab token (MFG). Half of each will go to the winning bid, 20% to the second place bid, 20% to the third place bid, and the remaining 10% going into a reward pool that will finance future reward schemes. In other words, some losing bids will receive a reward for having participated in the bidding process in the first place. At 64 pages, this is one of the most comprehensive white papers that I have consulted. Not too heavy on technical details, covering all the angles, including legal. It has been written by a team that demonstrates respect for the intelligence of its readers. And now Also, in the white paper, you can see all important information, all statistics, and features and advantages of this project. Now let's have a look to the uh, roadmap of the project. You can find here, referring to the current SyncFab web-based product as SyncFab 2.0, the project team envisaged a transition to a SyncFab 3.0 blockchain product, citing several key milestones along the way. Interestingly, however, the development roadmap is explicitly made to depend on the funds raised through the token sale. This is both unusual and entirely logical. It's entirely logical because a large budget implies different development outlines than a smart budget. It is entirely unusual because other ICOs simply do not this kind of granular detail, a positive sign and a more general indication that the project team here are treating token sale participant respectfully and intelligently. The basic development outline envisages smart contract development for standard purchasing in quarter of 2018. Smart contract development for standard supply lines in fourth quarter and tailored purchase supplier agreements in first quarter of 2019. A public data feed complete with APIs for third-party integrators. Future partnership is also envisioned. A complete budget will entail long-term development for a machine data feed, a smart machine interaction with the blockchain, presumably in anticipation of the emergent, though still very much embryonic machine economy, where manufacturers endure machine with the ability to sell themselves. This is unlikely to form part of the SyncFab 30.0 product release scheduled for 2019. And tokenomics of the project, let's see on the scheme. The token's value is designed around a reward system for manufacturers and suppliers who will be participating in the SyncFab blockchain managed network. That network is incentivized through a loyalty pool paid for purchases. This essentially boils down to a bidding action mechanism where a transaction fee paid for in the native token is added to the final purchase order paid for in traditional currency. If hard cap is achieved, 1 billion token will be created, of which 30% will be distributed to participants in the token sale. The rest is reserved for internal team rewards and bounties, 20% combined, marketing 15%, and eventual use by SyncFab partners, 30%. Here you can see funds token allocation and funds allocation. You can see public sale supply, how many tokens will be for distribution, and total supply of MFG tokens. Token will called MFG. And let's look at to the team. Here I open about team of this project. Here, coming in at 21, the team count matches the broad range of skill set of strength in depth. It is headed by a multilingual CEO Jeremy Goodwin, whose fluent Chinese adds to strong Chinese connection. The team also includes Simon Cookin on its advisory board. Uh, Advisory board, who was developed something of a reputation of inspiring confidence, is an ICO by dint of his mere association with Clearpool and the experts being examples of successful token sale, both past and ongoing respectively. Each member is listed with an accompanying LinkedIn profile with no exceptions. Uh, all links is working and you can check all team members with his profiles with those profiles. Okay, and the conclusion. This is a project manufactured by a team who are demonstrating a first-rate ability to cover all of the angles. When we cover any ICO, in almost every case, we find ourselves having to chase the project team to explain gaps in the information they either present on the website or the white paper. With this project, however, pretty much all of the information we went looking for was available to hand. There were none of unusual frustrations of having to track down simple contact details, getting our hands on something as basic as the project logo or finding out where the project is domiciled. It was all presented upfront by a team with the foresight to see that this might be required for a token sale. Under general circumstances, that may not sound impressive, but when you have liaised with innumerable project team like we have, it gives off the very strong impression that communication, due diligence, and transparency are the key strengths of the team that will be driving this project. Okay, that's all. Good luck.